Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan is giving a media conference at the moment. Let's listen in.
With sincerest feelings. My dear friend, Azerbaijan President, Mr. Aliyev's invitation between 14th of October and 15th of October, we are going to visit Azerbaijan and we're going to depart to Baku to join the summit. With our representatives and a large delegation is going to be with us. After arriving in Baku, first of all, I'm going to meet my brother Aliyev. After that, we are going to the Business Conseil in Baku, and we're going to meet the businessmen living outside Turkey. Dear members of the press, Turkey Conseil 7th Summit is important historically. First of all, this summit is important relationships between Azerbaijan, Kyrgyzstan, Azerbaijan, especially related to the Nahchivan Treaty. And this is coinciding with the 10th anniversary of the treaty. After the, hopefully, Baku summit will also initiate and we're going to join an opening in Europe as well, and this will also add strength to our cooperation. Kazakhstan's father, especially Nursultan Nazarbayev, and with this he will be awarded during the summit. The deep experience of Aksakal, and we're going to take benefit of his experiences. Hopefully, the Turkish world and the cooperation will strengthen each day, and this is something to be proud of for us. All the members of the states who will join the summit, we will have bilateral meetings, and hopefully we will have opportunity to talk about our future relationships. I would like to give also information about our Peace Spring operation to the state leaders too. All the Turkish Conseil members and us, we're going to have opportunity to strengthen our relationship with this summit. Please. From CNN Turkish, there is reportedly news about Syrian army is making deal with YPG. How is this going to affect the operation? Dear friends, of course, there is a lot of gossip, but especially through our ambassadors, and in addition to that, at the moment in Kobani, with Russia's positive approach, it looks like we're not going to have any difficulty. About Manbij at the moment, as we decided, we are going to act on it. As you know, with the United States about Manbij, our discussion with America about Manbij, we were saying that in 90 days, terror organizations were going to exit from Manbij, but this didn't happen. So when we empty Manbij, we are not going to enter Manbij. We are the real owners of that area. Our Arabic brothers are going to go into that area in Manbij. And our approach to this is that They should enter there, and we are going to make it secure for them. Yesterday, United States Defense Secretary said they were talking about withdrawing the American soldiers from Syria. I think this is positive approach. I think this is still ongoing, and there's nothing against this at the moment.
Haber Televizyonu'ndan Mehmet Karataş. Bölgede Mehmetçiğin kararlı bir şekilde harekatı devam ederken
Our soldiers are determined in the Syria operation, and there is a lot of effort not to harm any civilians, but some of the foreign media is reporting it in a different way. There are some mise-en-scène, some staged scenes. A foreign reporter were claiming that they heard bombing near civilian areas. Dear friends, I believe these manipulations, how you evaluate this is how I evaluate it too. more than 600 mortar shelling to our country, but they don't see this. They are blind to this. Of course, this is not acceptable. But this is not a first. This is always their tactic. And at the moment, this is the same tactic inside and outside. They're doing the same tactic. But of course, the truth, to cover the truth is not possible, because at the moment we have martyrs, we have civilians who died, and as a result of this martyr shelling, we have casualties, we have injured, we have people who are displaced, we have people who have moved out, our civilians, our citizens. They can try to manipulate as much as they like, but our people are seeing the truth, and we are going to express this through written and broadcasting vehicles via media. But of course, they are going to put their effort, they're going to do their tricks, but we are going to continue telling the truth. This is not going to stop us, this is not going to prevent us doing what we want to do. Related to my friend's question, there are many strong reactions from countries, and there are some contradictory expressions and statements. Some of the countries having self-criticism. What are you going to say about the criticism? Are you talking about the Arab League? Yes, Arab League, and in Western countries there is some self-criticism. Maybe they are saying that Turkey has got right to do this operation. What are you going to say about this? Of course, these reactions will change, because, as you know, liars can't last forever. And at the moment, what's happening at the moment, they can see all this. I have spoken to Chancellor Merkel yesterday. A day before that, I spoken to Boris Johnson. And in my meeting, in my conversation with them, I realized that they don't know many important truths. They're not aware, and they are under very strong misinformation campaign. I explained to them, if you want to have a sincere approach here, you are in the coalition powers, we are in the coalition powers too. Within the coalition, are you looking for truth here, or? Of course, they are trying to hide something that we have. What is it? We are a NATO ally. Be careful, all these countries are NATO members. The 5th article of NATO, We are
şu anda
under attack from a
baskısı
terror
altındayız, taciz
organization.
altındayız. Buna karşı 5.
So,
maddede bunların kimin
according to the
yanında yer alması
5th
lazım? Bizim
article,
yanımızda yer alması
who
lazım.
should they be siding with us?
Bir NATO üyesi
But with a
müttefikinizin yanında
NATO
mı yer
member, are you
alacaksınız?
going to be with your
Yoksa
NATO
terörle
ally,
mücadele
or are
görevi
you
olan
going to be
NATO'ya
with,
karşı kimin yanında yer alacaksınız?
who are you going to be with?
Teröristlerin yanında mı yer
Are you going
alacaksınız?
to be with the
Tabii
terrorists?
cevap veremiyorlar.
Of course, they can't answer this.
Ve yaptıkları
And
şeylerin
all the things they
gayesi
do,
nedir? Sebebi nedir?
what are they intending?
Bunu
What is
tabii
their
anlamak
reason?
mümkün
It's
değil.
impossible to understand.
İnsan bazen düşünüyor.
Sometimes
Ya NATO
one
üyesi
thinks
ülkeler içerisinde
amongst all the NATO members, we
halkı
are the
Müslüman olan ülke
only
Türkiye.
Muslim country.
Acaba buradan
Is it because of that? Maybe.
buraya doğru iş kanalize.
Because it looks like it's going this way.
Bu teröristlerin ise yapısı belli.
And of course, we know this terrorist
Görevi aynı
group's
zamanda
nature.
teröre karşı da mücadele
And
vermek
of course, NATO, one of its
5.
responsibilities
madde
is
noktasında da
fighting
şu
against
anda
terror. So, but it is
Fakat
passive
NATO
in
Genel
front of the 5th
Sekreteri
article.
biliyorsunuz,
But of course, the
Stoltenberg
General Secretary of
ziyaretimize
NATO,
geldi. Kendisiyle
Stoltenberg,
görüştük.
of course, I met him.
İşleri Bakanımla görüştü.
He
Gayet
met
güzel
my
açıklamalar yaptı. Benimle
State
yaptığı
Secretary.
görüşme de gayet güzel geçti.
It was a very good meeting.
Onun duruşu
I
çok
think his
farklı.
stand is very
Ama
different.
üye ülkelerin
But
bir
member
kısmının
countries,
duruşu
some of the member countries, their
farklı.
standpoint is different.
Belli konuşmaları yaptıktan
And
sonra
after talking
mesela
to them, though, for
Sayın
example,
Boris Johnson,
especially
ben
Mr.
o
Boris
zaman nasıl
Johnson,
yardımcı olabilirim
then he
noktasına
said to me,
geldi.
how can I help you now?
Biz
So he
tabii
came to this
bu
point.
noktada
Of
dik
course, at
duracağız.
this point, we have to stand up
Şu
straight,
anda özellikle
especially now
teröre ve teröristlere karşı bizim
against terror
biliyorsunuz
and terror organizations. You
Türklerle
know,
herhangi bir
we have no
bölgede
problem in the region with
savaşmak gibi bir
Kurdish.
şeyimiz yok.
We are not
Devletiz.
fighting against
Karşımızda
Kurds.
bir terör örgütü var.
We have a terror organization
Dolayısıyla
against us.
terör örgütüyle
Because
savaş olmaz, mücadele olur.
you don't have a war with a terror
Savaş ise
organization. You
devletler
fight
arası
against
olur.
them. Wars are
Bu
between
hassasiyetimizi de
states.
ortaya koyuyoruz.
We have to show this
Ona göre
sensitivity.
bu
So
mücadeleyi
according to this,
sürdürüyoruz.
this is how we continue
Ve şu
our
anda işte
fight.
Aynel Arap
Ain al
ve
Arab
Manbij
and Manbij at the
olayı iki
moment,
taraftan devam ediyor.
this is continuing.
Bunun yanında gerek
In addition to that,
Amerika ile gerek
United
Rusya
States
ile olan
and with Russia,
görüşmeleri
our
arkadaşlarımız Milli İstihbarat
meetings
olsun,
are
Savunma Bakanımız
continuing
olsun
with our
aynı
defense
şekilde
ministry.
sürdürüyorlar.
They are continuing
Ve
in communication
bu
with them.
süreci aynı
And this
kararlılıkla devam
this process
ettiriyoruz.
is going to continue
Zaten
with
sizler de
determination.
rakamları yayınlıyorsunuz.
And you are publishing
Şu
all the
anda
numbers at the moment.
etkisiz hale
We
getirilenlerin
neutralized
sayısı 550'ye
550 terrorists,
830 itibariyle ve bunların
and
içerisinde de
amongst this,
500
500
ölü var. Bunun yanında
is
26 yaralı, 24
500 casualties
teslim olan
dead, and
var.
24
Bu şekilde de
surrendered. So with
mücadelemiz
this way, we are going
kararlılıkla
to
devam
continue
ediyor.
our fight with determination.
Evet, teşekkür ediyoruz.
Yes, thank you.
Biz programımızı inşallah
Hopefully, our program
ve yarın devam ettirip yarın
will continue
akşam da
today and tomorrow
dönme
night
niyetindeyiz.
we will return, hopefully.
All right, that was Turkey's President Erdogan speaking ahead of his trip to the Baku summit in Azerbaijan. Speaking about Turkey's operation in northern Syria, he said the withdrawal of US troops from that region is a positive development. Describing negative media reports of the operation, he said it was manipulation by the media. On criticism of the operation by both European and Arab leaders, he said that they're not aware of many important details. They are subject to disinformation. We are under attack by a terrorist organization, he said. Under the 5th article of NATO's constitution, NATO members, Western European leaders, should be siding with us, he said. Is it because we are a Muslim country? He characterized Turkey's operation in northern Syria as a fight against a terror organization. It's not a war. He said wars are between countries. Let's bring in Al Jazeera's Sinem Koseoglu, who's with us live from Istanbul. Sinem, what did you make of that?
Well, Edwin, President Erdogan first seems to target international public opinion because in Ankara there is a perception in the Turkish capital that Turkey is winning this conflict, the battle or the fight, conflict, however you name it, or President Erdogan names it, on the ground. But on the PR side, about creating a public opinion which can understand Turkish narrative, they feel like they are failing. That's why since yesterday, President Erdogan seems to take over the duty for international communication about this military operation conducted in North Syria. He actually admit that there is an understanding with Russia, because he said Russia is positive about Kobane, where the PYD is active and where the US troops have withdrawn last night. And he said that Turkish military and Turkish government are determined about their plan for Manbij. Remember, like a year ago, Turkey and the US agreed on a plan which was called Manbij Roadmap. And according to that plan, within 90 days, the US military was supposed to withdraw from Manbij, and then there would be joint patrols and everything. But he said it's been more than a year, but it didn't happen. So this is what we are planning to do. And in each chance, President Erdogan and his team has accused the United States for not sticking with the Manbij road plan, despite politically and militarily they had agreed on this plan. So he showed that they are determined. Yes.
What are we to make of that criticism of Chancellor Merkel and President Macron? He mentioned Boris Johnson as well. He said that under NATO articles, Article number 5, that they should be siding with us as a fellow member, a fellow NATO member. He said that those leaders are subject to disinformation, that they're not in possession of all the facts. They don't realize what is actually happening on the ground in northern Syria.
Exactly. Adrian, last week, NATO Secretary General Mr. Stoltenberg was in Istanbul. He made a private talk with President Erdogan. He and Foreign Minister had a bilateral tete-a-tete talk, and then they had a presser. And in that presser, Stoltenberg obviously confessed that the NATO members have different points of view about the YPG and PKK. So it seems that the member countries haven't agreed on how to call the PKK or the YPG, or what kind of threat they think to be receiving from them. And Turkish Foreign Minister said that as Turkey, we know that in your assessment reports, intelligence reports, you have assessed the YPG because of its links with the PKK as a threat to NATO and its member countries. But because of the pressure of some countries, especially led by the US, you took this out from your report. And we all know about this, he said. So that's why they kind of feel those countries, especially France and Germany, are biased. Yesterday, in his presser, President Erdogan said that when I'm talking to Chancellor Merkel, I'm asking her, I'm saying that why do you target Turkey about this? And then she begins to say nine, which is no in German. So this is what he's trying to say. And after his talk with Prime Minister Johnson, he said that he came to a point: how can we help to Turkey? So there is a kind of misunderstanding or miscommunication, or interest parties in other countries have different opinions. This is the perception in Ankara, and that's why Erdogan targets the leaders by himself in order to communicate.
All right, Sinem, many thanks indeed. Al Jazeera's Sinem Koseoglu there, live in Istanbul.